Hi, in this video I'm going to take a brand new device, set it up as if I've just taken it out of the box. I'm also going to set up a FusionHub in the cloud, and then I'm going to join the two together with Speedfusion SD-WAN as a end-to-end kind of demonstration as to how all these things plug together. So the reason I'm doing this is because I'm on the forum all the time and people there are confused and want to know more about how all of these things bolt together. And recently, Peplink launched the FusionHub Solo license, which is a free license, so anybody can host FusionHub appliances now. And I want to show how easy and straightforward that is to do. So let's look at an example customer network where this ability to do SD-WAN via a virtual appliance really stands out, and that's in any situation where you've got double NAT. So right here in this diagram, what I'm showing is a PepWave device, a BR1 in this case, and actually in this diagram it's connected via a wired connection to a local ISP router, but it could just as easily be connected over cellular. It's the same flow, it's the same path, and what we're showing is that traffic coming from the laptop on the left has to go through two routers, both running NAT, before it gets to the internet. Now, why is that a problem? Well, for straightforward stuff, it really isn't. For internet access, for streaming videos, for accessing downloads, that sort of stuff, not a problem going through multiple NAT. And that's how those devices that we all have on 4G, our smartphones, which go through multiple levels of NAT before they get to the internet, all of that works fine. But in an enterprise environment, there's frequently situations where double NAT gets in the way of applications and operational stuff, right? So VoIP really hates NAT, full stop, but certainly really hates double NAT. We have the issues of inbound port forwarding. So in an enterprise environment where you've got full management of both the BR1 in this case and the ISP router, it's a headache, but it's doable. You can open a port on the ISP gateway and then open up another port on the BR1, which then gets you into the device that you want to access. If you don't manage the ISP gateway, if that is a carrier grade NAT from your mobile phone operator, you've got no ability to do inbound port forwarding because you can't change the configuration of that device, of course. And there are also some instances where you just want a public IP in a specific location. So that might be when you're running a device in a yacht in the south of France and you want to appear like you're connecting via a location in the UK. Or maybe you have a online service that you host in Amazon Web Services. Maybe it's a CCTV service and you want to be able to access the CCTV recordings. Well, you can host a FusionHub in Amazon Web Services and use the SD-WAN capability as a security barrier, as a way to secure access to that service in that hosted environment. So there's a bunch of ways it can be used. But for today, all we're going to do is we're going to set up some devices and get them talking to each other. And when we've done that, this is the traffic flow that will subsequently arise. So traffic from the laptop on the left hits the BR1. Now, rather than going through NAT, through a firewall, and from LAN to WAN, it instead goes over the SD-WAN, which is effectively a point-to-point VPN connection between the BR1 and the hosted FusionHub. And when it reaches the FusionHub, it then breaks out to the internet on the FusionHub's public IP. So in this scenario, we've got single NAT level, right? And that's at the FusionHub itself. And our IP address has changed. Our public IP address has changed because it's now the public IP in the cloud rather than the public IP of our ISP gateway. So that improves a bunch of things. It gives us the ability to actually use multiple WAN links now on the BR1. We can bond them together for reliability, for bandwidth aggregation. We can give ourselves unbreakable internet now through Speedfusion SD-WAN and via the FusionHub. And the nice thing about that is that WAN IPs can change, the types of WAN connection can change, and they can change on the fly, but your public IP stays the same because that is a virtual IP in the cloud and remains unaffected no matter how you're connecting the BR1 to the internet wherever you are. So this is an overview graphic of what we're going to build. Here in the office, I'm going to set up a BR1. It's going out through the ISP gateway, which is actually my office gateway. We're going to go over the internet. We're going to come into a FusionHub, which we're going to host on Vultr. We're going to build the SD-WAN, and off we go. So let's jump to it, and let me show you how to get this done. So the first thing we're going to do is go to incontrol2.peplink.com. This is where we're going to manage both the BR1 and also the FusionHub that we're about to create and install. So I'm going to set up a brand new account here so you can see how this works. We're going to do this as my lab account. Like this, password. Easy peasy, submit. They sent me an activation email, and we'll just go to my email client, and I'll click that link. In fact, let me pop that out so you can see it. Here we go. So it's asking me to activate it. I'm working in a incognito window, so I'm just going to copy the link just to keep things tidy. There we go. Okay, we've been activated. So now let's log in for the first time. So it's my lab account. My password. So the first time you log into InControl2, it's going to ask you to set up an organization. Now this is really the first kind of placeholder, or the first level of infrastructure, if you like. So if you're a business, an organization would be your business name. If you're a home user, an organization just might be your last name or whatever you want it to be, right? So in this case, it's Peplink Ninja, which is what I'm doing these demos as. Can be my organization name. And I'm based in Exeter, in Devon, in the southwest of England. So I'm just going to leave that generic. And yeah, we're imperial units here for distance. So I'm going to leave that as well. So that should be my organization created. And now it's going to ask me to create a group. Now, any device that's inside of InControl2 sits within a group, and the group is owned by an organization. Here we can see the latest news. So this is going to be my lab, my demo lab environment. So demo lab is going to be the group name for online demos. I don't want to manage schedule reboot. The address can stay the same, and the time zone is fine like that. So I'm going to create the group. And now that we've created the group, it's asking for the serial numbers of the devices I'm going to add. Well, the only physical device I have at the moment is the BR1. So I'm going to paste that serial number in. I'm not going to tag it with anything for the minute. I'm just going to add it in. So it's found the BR1. It knows what the name is, and I'm just going to call this demo BR1 for now. Click confirm. There we go. So it's been successfully added. I'm going to go to the group overview. And there's my demo BR1 device. And at the moment it's showing as offline. That's because the BR1, although it's powered up and connected, and I will check that in just a second, it hasn't yet tried to talk to in Control 2, or it's on a cycle of trying to talk to in Control 2. So what we'd expect to see in a minute is, if we click on that, for the status light to go green as it comes online. Let me just pause that and make sure I've still got it turned on and still got it plugged in. Oh no, I don't need to. Look, there it is. Green light, up it comes. Right, so that's my BR1 online. And I can see everything I need to know about this BR1 in its current format. So on the right, we can see that we're connected to the local network here, 10.12.16.69 is the IP address I've picked up. And I can see that cellular is trying to connect. It's got signal, but it isn't for some reason. And that's probably because the SIM card that's in it hasn't been activated properly yet. But for our purposes now, that doesn't really matter. I've got an internet connection. And you can see that my internet connection is, the public IP has been detected there just fine. And that is one of the public IP addresses of my office here. So the next step is to create a FusionHub. So let's do that. So to create a FusionHub, because it's a virtual appliance, what we have to do is generate a license for it first, and then we install the appliance and apply the license. So to generate a license, we go to the organization and we go to organizational settings and warranty and license. Now here you'll see that I've got no licenses at the moment. I've got showing the current IC2 subscription for the BR1 at the top. So what I want to do is I want to acquire a new FusionHub license, and it's going to be a solo license rather than evaluation, and the solo license is for a single peer at 100 megabits. So let's acquire that, and it's asking me where I want to put it, which group, and I'm going to put it into the demo lab. So let's do that, and it's in the demo lab, and I'm just going to call this one Fusion 01. Fusion 01 is a good, and country, well, it is in the United Kingdom, so I'm going to leave it there, and I'll leave it as the middle of Exeter, which is what the map is currently showing, and it's got that from the group. Great. So I've now got a FusionHub virtual appliance ready to be installed and to run, and a BR1. So let's now jump into Vultr and go and get the FusionHub set up. So vultr.com, and we'll go into my account. Now I've already set up an account here in Vultr. I've gone ahead and done that, and I've added a credit card, which you need to do if you're going to launch a new instance. And what I've done is I've actually uploaded a FusionHub image to Vultr. Now it's worth, you'll see down below here, I've done a bunch of failures because I was working out the right way to do this. And actually, the easiest way to do this by far is to download the FusionHub image, which is zipped from Peplink, and I'll put a link to that in the description of this video, or in the article. I'll bolt on the side of the video at some point. So I download that, and I've set up a Dropbox account, and I've extracted the .raw file from within the zip image into that Dropbox account, and then I've created a Dropbox link to that raw image. So then in this section here, snapshots, I'm able to add a snapshot, and then I can paste in the Dropbox link into here, click upload, and when I do that, the snapshot appears in this list here. So that's good. So I've got a snapshot that's ready to build a virtual appliance from. So let's go and build a new FusionHub virtual appliance. So it's cloud compute. I'm in the UK, so I'm going to run with London, and I'm going to go to snapshot, and there's the snapshot I've just uploaded. I'm only going to do the cheap version, the $5 a month version. I'm going to give it a sensible name, and in this case it's going to be fusion01.peplink.ninja. That's just a reference for me, so I know that it's there, and what the what the name is. This doesn't actually update DNS or anything like that. It's just literally a reference, and I'm going to click deploy now. So right now, as we can see, Vultr's going off and doing the install from the snapshot for this new virtual appliance that we've set up. And if we wait just for a moment, what we'll see is the snapshot gets deployed and a public IP address gets allocated to the FusionHub. And once we can see the public IP address, then we can go and talk to or log into this FusionHub appliance, apply its license, and get it online within InControl 2. Right, so here we are. We've got a public IP. I'm going to select that, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do go to. So it's going to open a new tab with that IP address there ready. And we're a little bit early because if we go back and look at Vultr, it's still restoring, right? It's still bringing that snapshot back online. Whilst we're waiting for that to come online, we need the license key. So let's go back to InControl 2. We can see we've got FusionHub 01 here. Now we've got a serial number but no license key. So where do we find the license key? And I'm just going to check to make sure it's not shown underneath. It's not, but Peplink, if you're listening, that would be a good place to put the license key whilst we wait for it to be activated. If we go back to Peplink, to the organization level, to warranty and license, we can then see the device name with the license. So I'm going to grab that license key, copy, and we go back to the tab that we just did. Now it's a brand new device, so it's going to be admin and admin to log in. And we can go through all default settings on this. Don't need to change anything at all. Local ID is important, so we're going to call this Fusion 01. We'll set the time zone. Everything else can be default. So save and apply settings, and now it's asking me for the license key. So I'm going to apply the license key here. It goes off, verifies the license, which is fine. Good. So that's going to do a reboot and come back round. So now what it's worth doing is just looking at how we protect that device now that it's online and licensed. And one of the first things we're going to do is change the default password, because admin is pretty horrific as a default password. So let's go into our demo lab and let's go to settings, device system management, and what we'll do is we're going to manage the web interface of all these devices. I always like to change the admin username away from straightforward admin just to make things a bit harder. So we'll call this one Peplink admin, like that. So it's device managed. At the moment the password is device managed, and what we want to do is assign a nice random password for each device. The read-only username I disable. We're not doing authentication by radius or anything else. We're not going to just schedule a reboot at this point. So job done, click save changes. So now that we've done that, what we'll see is that all the devices inside of the demo lab group have now got Peplink admin as the username and a randomly assigned password. So if we and you'll see now we've got 2 green lights here completely. So we're finished. We're now going to stay fully with it inside of InControl 2. So I'm going to close down my other tabs. I don't need Vultr anymore, and I don't need the direct web admin anymore, which wouldn't work anyway because I've changed the password. So I'm going to just do a middle click to open up new tabs for the BR1 and the FusionHub. And I just want to show you a couple of things. First thing is that with the device inside of InControl 2, you've got this under settings, remote web admin. So I can click here, and I'm going to do the same thing for the FusionHub, settings, remote web admin. And what this does is InControl 2 goes off, tells the device that we want to set up a secure connection to it. The device creates an outbound VPN to InControl 2 purely so that we can proxy through and get to the web interfaces of the devices. So you'll see there, I'm just inside of InControl 2. I haven't had to go to any public IPs. In fact, the BR1, if you remember, is behind NAT. It's behind a firewall. It's deep inside of my network here. Yet I'm still managing to get through to the web interface to see what's going on. So that's really handy, all of that. But this video is about Speedfusion VPN. and how do we get it set up, and what do we do. And for the purposes of this video, I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to do the first way, which is manual, to show you how this works, and then I'm going to go to Control 2 and do the automated method. So manual first. What I want to do is get the BR1 to go and talk to the FusionHub. So I click on Advanced. We've got Pep VPN with Speedfusion, and we've got to give a local ID name, set a local ID name. The name of the device is fine, demo BR1. That's good. And now we're going to set up a new profile. So the new profile is going to go to our FusionHub, to the FusionHub. I'll leave encryption turned on because why not? In fact, one of the reasons why not is to improve bandwidth throughput, because when you encrypt the traffic, you reduce by a little amount the amount of throughput available on a device. So in fact, for this instance, because we're doing public internet, I'm just going to turn encryption off. And then we want the remote ID of the FusionHub. So let's jump to the FusionHub tab and let's go to Network, Speedfusion. Once again, it's going to say set a local ID. Oh no, we did that already in the install. That's fine. So that's Fusion01. So I'm going to copy that, come back to the BR1 and paste it in. Next thing it's asking for is the remote IP address of the FusionHub. So that's nice and easy. Let's go back to the dashboard, and there it is on the dashboard. So let's grab that IP address and paste that in, and we can leave that set as defaults for the moment. So I'm just about to click apply changes. Before I do, I'm just going to copy the local ID here. Right, copy that ID, hit apply changes. Now let's jump back to the FusionHub. And now let's set the FusionHub up so that it accepts an inbound connection from the BR1. So to do that, we add a Speedfusion profile, new profile, and it's from our demo BR1. I'm going to turn off encryption again here. I'm going to paste the BR1 ID in there. I'm going to click save, and I'm going to click apply. And that will take us back to the dashboard page of that. Now I've just noticed that we're on a fairly old firmware on the FusionHub from the image that I've used. So let's go and fix firmware for the group as a whole, actually. So let's go back to the group level where I'm looking at all of the devices. I'm going to go settings, firmware policy. And for the FusionHub, I'm going to take it right up to the latest version of that, which is 8. I always tick upgrade only so that we don't downgrade by accident at any time. And I'm going to do the same thing for the BR1, upgrade only, and I want them to upgrade their firmware immediately. Click Save Changes, and we can see that the jobs scheduled there are just for the FusionHub because the BR1 is already at the latest firmware version. That's good. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard for the group level, and we'll see that the FusionHub has already gone offline because it's been probably because of the firmware upgrade. Let's go and double check that, click into it and have a look. Yeah, see, it says it's updating to version 8. So the firmware has been pushed to it and the FusionHub is rebooting to apply the latest firmware. So we'll see that come back around in just a second. There we go, green, and we're now on firmware 8, which is fantastic. So now, let's go and have a quick look at the devices. The FusionHub, what we should see is, yeah, okay, that's good. So, in fact, the FusionHub is rebooted. So let's just close these down and start remote web admin on both devices one more time. Settings, remote web admin. So we can see here on the BR1 that it's connecting, the VPN status is that it's connecting to the FusionHub and it's updating routes, and it's now gone green. And if we look at the FusionHub, we should see a green VPN connection there too. Okay, so this is good. We've now got a VPN between the BR1 and the FusionHub, but that's all it is, it's just a VPN link. So we actually have to tell the BR1 to send traffic via the FusionHub link, via the VPN link. So on the BR1, we're going to go to Advanced. I'm going to show you two ways to do this. The first way, under Advanced and Speedfusion, is to come here, send all traffic to. And if we tick this box, it asks for DNS servers, and we'll use Google DNS. Why not? If we can tick this here, and we can click save and apply changes, and now, and when if we did that, any device that connects to the BR1 in any way, wireless WAN, over wireless, over the LAN, any way at all of its traffic will be sent via the FusionHub. Now that's fine, and sometimes exactly what you want, but I prefer to retain a little bit of control here. So rather than do send all traffic to, I tend to use outbound policy. Outbound policy is a way to identify certain types of traffic and send it in different directions. So we can actually replicate the send all traffic to rule here. Outbound traffic via FusionHub. Source any, destination any, and we can say, rather than enforced, I'm going to do a priority rule. I'm going to say go via FusionHub, and I'm going to tick terminate sessions. So what does this mean? It means that so long as the FusionHub VPN is up, all traffic will be sent via the FusionHub link over the VPN. If it's down, then traffic will be sent to any of the following connections in that order, so long as those connections are healthy. And then if the VPN was down and then it comes back up again and is available, if the traffic is going over a different WAN link at that stage, terminate those sessions and recreate the sessions over the VPN. That's what that last tick box means. So I'm going to click save, and I'm going to click apply. Okay, so I've done that setting. I've sent all traffic via the VPN, and there's something to note here. As you can see on the screen, the InControl 2 has lost web admin connection to the device. So why is that? Well, that remote session was being sent over the WAN link, and now we set up a rule to say all traffic needs to go out over the VPN, and if the VPN is healthy, cut the existing sessions. So that is why I've lost my remote web admin session to the BR1. And if I want to, I can go back and just recreate that, and that new session will get created over the VPN link rather than over the WAN link. So I've got a laptop here, and I want to show and prove that traffic is routing the right way. So what I want to be able to do is connect that laptop to the wireless AP of the BR1. Right now we've got a default AP set up, and I'm going to change that to something that's a bit easier to remember and a bit easier to connect to. So what I can do is I can set an SSID at the group level. So I'm going to go to group-wide SSID settings, turn on Wi-Fi management, and click Save Changes. Then I'm going to add a new SSID, and I'm going to call it Peplink Ninja Lab. I'm going to apply this to all devices that have got wireless capabilities. I'm going to give it a let's see, a password that makes sense. Like that, and I'm going to click Save Changes. So that's now been saved. And what's happening now is InControl 2 is pushing that SSID down to the BR1. So if we go and have a look at the BR1, we'll see that the BR1 is busy, chugging away. It's receiving the new settings, the new config from the IC2, and it will be applying them very shortly. If we go and grab a remote desktop to my my laptop. Hang on, let me drag this in. So at the moment I'm connected to the local network. I'm going to search for new wireless networks to connect to. This will be interesting. There we go. There's the Peplink Ninja Lab. So I'm going to connect to that. And of course, when I do that, I'm going to lose my my connection, aren't I? Rats. Okay, let me rethink this. Let me just turn around and connect it manually on the laptop. So that's just connecting now, and is now connected. So let me just bring up the remote desktop session to it again. Just connecting now. Bring this in so you can see. Okay, so I'm connected to the Ninja Lab, which is the BR1, and if I now launch a new Chrome window on that laptop and go to what is my IP? So this is the IP address that's being presented to the public, or to the servers that we're talking with, and you'll see that that IP address is 78.141.201.100, and that IP address is the IP address on the FusionHub. Okay, so that was how we set up Speedfusion and the link to the FusionHub manually. Now let me show you how to get InControl 2 to do this for you. So I think probably the quickest way to sort this out would be, let's go back to where we were. So let me just get rid of the profile that we added here on the FusionHub. Let's kill that and click apply. Let's go back to the BR1 and let's get rid of the outbound policy and also the profile on that one. We haven't used remote web admin on this one for a second. Let's just still connected. Dun dun dun. Let's do a new remote web admin session to it. 1 second. Settings remote web admin. Oh, of course. If you think about it, we were sending all of our traffic over the VPN, weren't we? And I'd just gone to the FusionHub and destroyed the VPN tunnel. So the BR1 and the traffic, the remote web admin traffic to the BR1 is now got a little bit confused. So we need to ask it a couple of times to create a new remote web admin session, which it's now doing over the WAN link because the VPN connection is down. Okay, here it comes. New web admin session, pop, brilliant. Okay, right, click on advanced. And we'll go to, just get rid of the outbound policy first. So get rid of that one. And then let's go to Speedfusion and delete that profile. And click apply changes. Right, so that's now our BR1 and FusionHub back as they were when we first connected them to InControl 2. So now we're going to tell InControl 2 to create the VPN session itself and to deploy that for us. So we go back to the group level. So hit Demo Lab, here are the two devices. We come up here to VPN and Speedfusion and click Configuration. So we click Enabled, and we're going to add a new profile. And we're going to do star because we want the FusionHub to be in the middle and the remote device to connect to it. So it's a star configuration. So what's the hub device? Well, the hub device is the FusionHub, Fusion 01. And that's the public IP, which is absolutely fine. Nothing to worry about with advanced settings. No, that's fine. Click Next. The endpoint device, well, we've only got one device, and we're only licensed to one device on this FusionHub Solo, of course. If you had a different license, you could select lots of devices here. We're going to click Next on that one. We're going to call it Fusion. So we're going to turn off the encryption. We're leaving that alone, and we're going to do send all traffic to the remote hub. Yes, we are. DNS servers. Now this is very similar to turning on send all traffic on the device, right? Exactly the same idea. Link failure detection. We're going to leave all of the advanced stuff off for the moment, and we're going to do next on that, and finish. So we set up the profile. If we click Save Changes, what will happen here is this profile will get deployed now to the FusionHub and to the BR1, and Speedfusion settings will be applied, and then the tunnels will connect. Now we can prove that, or we can see the status of that by clicking on here, tabular view, and this will show us all of the profiles that we've configured once it's warmed up. So here we go. We can see that profile that we've just set up, and we can see the status of it. So it's an unsecure tunnel because we didn't tick 256-bit encryption. That's the name of the tunnel. It's a single WAN. In the moment we're updating routes, and we're connecting from the BR1 to the FusionHub, and we're using the WAN ports. So if we go and have a look at the BR1, we can see that we've established a connection. If we look at the FusionHub, we can see that we've established a connection. And then if we go back to our laptop that's connected to the LAN, bring that across, and if we refresh the What Is My IP page, we can see that we are connected via that same FusionHub IP. So there we are. That's the two ways that you can create a VPN between a remote device and a freshly deployed FusionHub. So there we are, right? We've built a FusionHub in the cloud. We've connected a remote device to it. Traffic from the remote device is going via the FusionHub. And we've got the ability there to do full unbreakable internet with multiple WAN links at the BR1 level, providing resilience and bandwidth bonding. Not bandwidth bonding on the BR1. It was a different device that we could do bandwidth bonding. The BR1 is for hot failover only, so that gives us the resilience and the unbreakable internet side of things. You'll have noticed I did all of that config without actually moving away from my desk and without touching, physically touching any of the devices. I didn't need to. In fact, I had to turn it on, of course. But if I'd shipped that BR1 into the field to a customer site and they turned it on for the first time and just plugged it into an internet connection, that's all I'd need to then get access to that box, get it configured, get it talking to a FusionHub, and get it working. And just a reminder, we can host that FusionHub anywhere we like. We're hosting it here in this demo in Vultr because it's cheap and it's relatively easy, and I can do it all remotely. But that FusionHub could be hosted in enterprise data centers, it could be hosted at home, on a home network, it could be just about anywhere. The key thing is that for us to have unbreakable internet, we need to be going from where we are and the internet connectivity we have to a different location which has better internet connectivity and hosts the FusionHub. There's absolutely no point in having a FusionHub here alongside the box that I want to do unbreakable internet to, of course. I hope that was helpful. Let's see if we can't do some more of these. So if you've got questions on the forum that would benefit from a little video showing how to do it, hit me up and let's send me a message, raise it on the forum, email me, whatever, and I'll start making more of these videos about actual use cases and how we do things. All right? Thank you very much.